Here's a psychology fact you're not ready for. Feeling behind in life has nothing to do with your age, your money, or your success. It's a mental illusion your brain creates to control you. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. Why does it feel like no matter how much you try, you're still behind? Behind your friends, behind people your age, behind where you thought you'd be by now. You tell yourself it's because you started late, or because you wasted time, or because others are just more lucky. But psychology says something far more disturbing. Most people don't feel behind because they actually are. They feel behind because their brain keeps moving the finish line. You could double your income, improve your lifestyle, become more disciplined, and yet that feeling wouldn't disappear because your brain isn't tracking progress, that it's tracking comparison. And once comparison becomes your measuring stick, you're guaranteed to feel like you're losing, even when you're growing. This is why some people have everything and still feel empty, and why others have very little, but feel peaceful. That if this already feels personal, good, because this video isn't about motivation, that it's about the psychological trap that quietly convinces you that you're late to your own life. Psychologists call this perceived life delay, and once you understand it, you'll see why you act the way you do. Perceived life delay happens when your brain compares your current reality to an imaginary version of where you should be. Not where you could be, not where you will be, where you think you were supposed to be by now. And here's why this matters. Your relationships, your habits, even your confidence, all of it is influenced by this one psychological pattern. When you feel behind, your brain enters a threat state. And in that state, you overthink everything, you hesitate instead of acting, you scroll instead of building, you fantasize instead of doing, because psychologically, feeling behind creates shame, and shame doesn't motivate. Shame paralyzes. That's why people who feel behind often procrastinate more, avoid responsibility, lose discipline, sabotage opportunities, not because they're lazy, but because their brain believes, what's the point? I'm already late. And that belief quietly ruins years of potential. But here's where it gets even worse. Your brain doesn't just notice that you feel behind. But here's the part nobody wants to admit. The reason your life hasn't changed yet isn't because you don't know what to do, it's because your brain has linked change with pain. This happens because your brain is predictive. It looks at your past, then assumes your future. If you've tried before and failed, your brain remembers the pain. So now, whenever you think about taking action, your mind whispers, don't try. You'll just feel worse. Your brain does this to protect you from disappointment. But protection becomes a prison. Your mind thinks, staying the same hurts less than trying and failing. But the reality is, staying the same hurts longer. This is why feeling behind is so dangerous, not because of where you are, but because of what it convinces you to stop doing. It stops you from starting that project, learning that skill, showing up consistently, believing in delayed success, and instead, it trains you to escape, scroll, sleep, distract, delay, day after day, until years pass. If that hit you, good. It means you needed it. If you want to break this cycle, start with one mental shift. Backhand index pointing right. Stop measuring life by milestones. Start measuring it by momentum. Psychology shows progress is addictive, not big progress, visible progress. Your brain needs proof that movement is happening. So here's the mental trick that actually works. Every day, do one small action that your future self would respect. Point 1. Not 10. Not perfect, just consistent. Because momentum rewires identity, and once your brain sees, I'm moving forward, the feeling of being behind begins to disappear, not overnight, but permanently. You don't need to catch up, you need to start. And that's something you can do today, because here's the truth you've been avoiding.